Hi, I'm Kristine Burke, and I'm the founder of Castles and Crayons. If you're like me, you've heard all of the talk lately about our standard of living being at risk and how we're about to go into some sort of free fall, or maybe that's already started. A lot of fear talk. And I thought this was a really good time for us to stop and ask a question. Whose standard of living exactly are we afraid is about to fall? Consider the facts. We are, as a nation, more overweight than we have ever been and more unhealthy. In fact, our healthcare crisis is a result of our unhealthiness. Diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and other diseases have become so prevalent in our society that we actually begun to think that they're inevitable parts of aging, which of course they're not. Our marriages and our families are falling apart. Our children are becoming addicts. They are starving and purging themselves to death or to the brink of death. They are dropping out of school, joining gangs, committing crimes. Our doctors are handing out prescription medications as if they're candy for ADD, anxiety, and depression. We are drowning in debt and we are losing our homes. Global terrorists are coordinating, trying to pick us off in large numbers. Our soldiers are coming home in body bags or otherwise completely destroyed. Our financial institutions led us to the brink of collapse, and our government used our money to bail them out. And now our unemployment rate is rising, and the experts are all jumping up and down saying this was completely unforeseen, and perhaps this is the end of America as we know it, the end of freedom and democracy and capitalism. In fact, books are being written and conversations are being had about whether or not we're about to follow Rome into a big collapse leading to the Dark Ages. And I stop and look at that and think, maybe we need to redefine standard of living, because the standard of living that we've had for the last 20 years clearly has not been working for most of us. And the fact that it's now hit the coffers in the large hierarchies, they're kind of putting their hands up in the air and saying this isn't working. Well, it hasn't been working for a long time. The emperor has no clothes. And I think we're really fortunate that all of these things have kind of come out into the open at the same time and fallen down around us at the same time, so that we can no longer go forward pretending that everything is okay when in fact it isn't, and it hasn't been for a really long time. I created Castles and Crayons for those of us who are ready to define high standard of living and lead humanity forward in a positive and truly meaningful way, to define our standard of living in terms of our human experiences versus economic numbers. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against money. It's a fabulous tool to help us to achieve our objectives. But during the boom years of our economy, when everything was supposed to be so great and our standard of living so high, a lot of that was based on consumer spending, and it actually turned out, of course, that we, the consumers, were spending more than ourselves into debt, ruining our futures, ruining our health. We need different measures. America and our brethren of freedom can lead the world forward, as we've done before, toward greater personal freedoms, toward greater equality. But we need a new infrastructure to do that, and we need to change our perspective and kind of run to the end of the road in terms of what we can do with large hierarchies mandating behaviors. They're going to mandate behavior in accordance with their own objectives, of course, and that's not working for most individuals. If my message resonates with you, then you're probably somebody who's already been looking at what's been going on in the nation for years and saying this isn't right. I know we can do something better. And maybe you're somebody who's already on the path toward making a difference. My hope is to bring all of us together so that we can make the world a better place and make the human experience more meaningful and valuable to the majority. Thank you. I hope you'll join me.